second one on the Macfox X7. We got the dual battery setup on here. We're going to check out these lights because this bike is all about safety. And I saw all the LEDs that the tail light had, so I really want to check that out and also see how the headlight is. One cool thing about this bike is that the headlight and everything will come on without the bike actually being on. Now, you do have a dedicated button for that, so you can turn it on and off. And you also have a daytime running light as well that's always going to stay on. If you move it to the middle, that gets rid of all your lights and just keeps a daytime running light. If you move it onto the right-hand side, that is your regular light. And on the left is your high beam, so... yeah, bump it on into 3. Let's go. Now, this bike is definitely way more different than all these other bikes we've been reviewing lately that go 60+ miles an hour. But there has to be a company out there that has to put together legal bikes. And by the way, I'm not even being safe. I didn't even have the headlight on. But for real, like, there's got to be companies out there that keep these kids safe. And there's bikes that are actually worth buying because they have high quality components on there. People should be able to see you. You should be able to see yourself. And this is a prime example of kind of the stuff you're paying for. This is a huge headlight. Look how wide it is. It goes way over here and way over here. I could probably lift it up just a little bit, but I am loving this headlight so far. So over to my right-hand side, there's no street lights, and over here there are street lights. So we're gonna go down this way really quick, and I wanna show you guys the difference when I turn the headlight off and we just have the daytime running light. So check it out. This is the headlight right now. This is no high beam, no nothing. Check this out. This is the daytime running light. The daytime running light's actually pretty damn bright. I could see. I can't see super far, but I can still see with that daytime running light. And check it out. That is the regular headlight. And if we turn it off again, here is the headlight with the high beam. And look how it's brightening up those logos over there, like the stop sign and the caution and all that kind of stuff, the no turn left and all that kind of stuff. This is, whoa, I think we got cruise control. This is a fantastic bike. This is seriously like quality you just don't get on bikes nowadays because they gotta cut corners. And a lot of these other bikes that we're reviewing, if you get a bike that's super cheap, sometimes it doesn't even come with a headlight or a brake light or turn signals or anything like that. Now, this bike would have been nice if it did come with turn signals, but however, it doesn't. So I think that's something that they should have possibly added. Also, this bike has no fenders. I said this in my video review, and I actually think it looks sick without fenders. However, you know, to be more safer, you know, if kids are gonna be riding in the rain, off-road, mud or whatever. I mean, these tires are good for street, but I mean, you can still go off-road a little bit on them. I feel like it's going to splash in front of them. It could possibly get in their eye. It could probably get on their backpack or their clothes when they go to school, because that's what this bike is made for, is kids to go back and forth to work or, you know, school safely. And I'm not hating on the bike. It's personally not a bike I would go run out and buy for $2,000 with a dual battery setup. If you don't want the extra battery, it's about $15.99. But you have to get it with the dual battery setup because you are gonna get just so much range out of it. The batteries are 13 amp hours each, so if you double them, that is 26 amp hours in total. And I told everybody you'll probably get about 50 to 60 miles of range, and a lot of people are saying like, no, that's not right. You're not gonna get that type of range. But keep in mind, I have barely just went down 1 battery bar, and we had 10 miles on this bike from the first video. So far, I have 1.3 miles on this bike so far. Now, sometimes bikes do have a battery that drops really quick and sometimes take others to drop. What's cool about this bike though, if you come over here, oh my God, bunch of stuff in the bike lane. Hopefully don't get a flat. We do have huge tires on this thing. Keep in mind, 5 inches in the rear and 4.5 inches in the front. That is bigger than like a Super 73. That's bigger than any fat tire e-bike out there on the market. Other than there's a company called BGX, and they have the big new bike. And those are some big tires as well. I think they're 5 inches wide. That's the only other bike I've seen with 5-inch wide tire. But what I wanted to say about this display is it shows you voltage. So our voltage right now is 48.8 volts. We started at a full battery charge the other day, and we're still continuing the range. And right now we're probably looking at about 12 miles right now. Now I feel a little safe riding in the road. I'm gonna turn right here. Of course, no turn signals, that would have been nice. But I have a nice brake light. This brake light behind me is really, really flashy. I'll pull over here and show you guys real quick. I think you guys are absolutely gonna be blown away by how this looks. And we'll check it out later in a more pitch black area because we got some lights right here. But for now, check this out. This is with the brake levers push. So I'm pushing the brake levers. You can see how it gets brighter. So I'll have to do that later when I'm next to the bike. But look at this. That is a fantastic brake light. That is really high up above the tire. I can see that all day long. A car should see that 24/7. I mean, that is what you expect, or what I expect with a brake light. Real quick, I'll show you guys, but we'll do a little bit more testing later. But you can see that it has a top bar right here. It's not the whole entire thing that gets brighter. It's an extra LED on the top of the regular LEDs that are already there. So it's cool. I love it. And then as soon as I get on the bike, it's not super torquey. I don't feel like I'm going to fall off the bike. Even if I wasn't using the throttle and I accidentally moved the pedals, there's a delay on the pedals. I'm pretty sure you can go in the settings and change that if you want it to be more quicker, but this is also more safer for the power to come on after the fact, because sometimes on bikes, and I've been prone to do this myself, I pull up to a light, like a stoplight, or I'm hitting the crosswalk or something, and I accidentally bump the pedals and move them, and the bike gives me so much power, it's like, yoop, almost yeets me off the back of the bike and the seat. So that sucks, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to avoid that, and this bike doesn't give me that feeling whatsoever. Another thing that's cool is the seat is so soft, and it also has a rake in the back. It doesn't look like it has a rake in the back, but it does. You kind of sit in this little slope, and so that means that you're not going to slide off of the back of the seat. It's a nice safety thing just to keep people on the bike, and I really love the seating position of this bike. I sit right upright because the handlebars are really tall. They're BMX style. I can put so much accessories over here. I absolutely love the setup of this bike. It reminds me of the old school Super 73 bikes, and now those bikes are just super expensive. I'm pretty sure if you compare this to a Super 73 bike, it's going to cost you like $2,500 to $3,000 just to get something equivalent to this. Now real quick, talking about the seating position, now this is a two-seater. The seat actually goes really high in front of me, so I can actually sit way up like this. You guys probably can't even see the handlebars anymore, but now I have inches, like huge, like a lot of room, like a whole ruler behind me to fit another person on here. And they also have pegs on this bike too, so you can bring your friend, and if their bike breaks down or you're going to school together, they have a bike, you can go to your friend's house, pick them up, and get going. The only thing is, this bike is not that powerful, so if you do have some hills to go up, you might be a little worried about trying to get up them if you have two people on this bike. But I'm pretty sure if it's flat road, you could probably do it, but the torque is technically not going to be there. It's going to take a little bit longer, but you'll get there safely. Let's jump up on the curb really quick. Oh yeah, I love how these tires feel. I absolutely love them. You can air them up to whatever you want to get the more comfortable riding out of it. If you want to air them up more and get more range out of it, but it's going to be a little bit more bumpy. The only thing I'm a little worried about these tires is picking up stuff on the road. They're so wide that you're going to pick up a lot of thorns and debris faster than you would a skinnier tire that's maybe 2 or 2.5 inches wide. And also, I never showed this, but you can see the headlight and stuff. That's pushing the suspension down. The suspension is really good on the front. Now, there's no suspension in the back. Kind of sucks. I feel like this price point, it would have been nice to have suspension in the back, but it also makes it feel more sturdy of a bike, and it could also hold more weight as well. Oh, and real quick, let me give you a range update really quick. I've only went 3 miles so far, and I'm actually down to 3 battery bars now. So those 2 battery bars went pretty damn quick. Now, keep in mind, batteries normally operate better when it's like hotter outside. Right now, it feels like it's about like 65, 70. It's actually cold on the colder side. Earlier today, I think it was like 90 something. But yeah, we're sitting at about 49.1 volts. And I went up a battery bar after I let off. Oh, I went up another battery bar after I let off. So now it says we have full battery bars. But I'll bring up the chart and I'll show you guys on the screen right now so you guys can see where the battery's at after riding this for about 13.3 miles. So hopefully after you guys saw that chart, you would see that we're probably around the 65% range roughly. And that's not too bad. I think I'm probably going to get about, I would say, 18 miles to half battery, and then another maybe like 15 miles like to the rest of the battery, because I mean, it does start cutting your power though low end, so probably when we get to 20%, we're actually going to be probably riding slower. We actually might get more range on the second half of the battery, but I also don't like to go super close to the battery bar going all the way down. We're not going to honestly do the whole range test today because that's just going to take hours. This bike is so slow and the battery is just going to take forever to drain that I'm just not going to go through the whole process of running it all the way down. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say if you ride at max speed like I have been, 25 miles an hour, you're most likely going to get 35 to 40 miles out of this bike. And I'm 163 pounds. Now I know I said 50 to 60. That's probably going to be in pedal assist 2, and probably going maybe 17 to 18 miles an hour, or maybe even closer to 15 miles an hour. But if you are a kid, you're using this for school, maybe you're not as big as me, maybe you're 120 pounds, which is super light, you'll definitely get really, really good range compared to me. Now I was debating on pulling out in front of this car, but I know I got a good brake light, so they should be able to see me no problem. Because a lot of people get hit on bikes by cars coming behind them because they just don't see bikers, and they're always kind of drifting off into the bike lane. But I feel really, really safe on this bike. And just like that, no worries. They got over for me, they saw me. They probably saw me as soon as I turned. They're like, what the hell is that? Oh dang, 26 miles an hour. We're going faster now, but I could tell the bike cut the power though. It definitely cut the power to the bike. That's funny. I really wish it would just like go off of, you know, riding and stuff like that. But this bike does seriously have a hard cap at 25 miles an hour. There's nothing you can do in the advanced settings to change that. So just keep in mind, you guys might be thinking, oh, go in there and change it. It should go up to 28. It doesn't. I really do think, like personally me, it should have at least went 28 miles an hour. That's a class 3 e-bike, most places you go. And a class 2 is like 20 miles an hour. So you're putting us right in the middle of both classes, where it doesn't really technically matter 25 miles an hour. I don't know, depending on where you stay at, maybe you have different rules and regulations, but over here in California, I can go 28 miles an hour all day long and a cop's not gonna bat an eye. And technically, you could probably get away with going maybe 30 to 32 because they're not out there lasering bikes to see how fast they're exactly going. Does that make sense? I'm a little confused on why they decided to go with 25 miles an hour and not just 28. But hey, I mean, it's a solid bike at the end of the day. No complaints. And I've been rocking Macfox for a really, really long time. I think back in 2021, I've had their bikes. Maybe it was 2022. I'm sorry, 2022. And I've always liked all their products. I really want to see them put out something like quick. I think that would be awesome because I just think their company is a really well-known company. They've always done really good stuff. They don't just try to throw a bike out and hope people buy it. They actually take some time, like most of these other companies, like big companies do, to put out a bike instead of just being like, oh, let's just half-ass a bike and throw it out there. They actually do some work to the bike first, which I appreciate. You guys got to remember, there is a lot of R&D that goes into doing these bikes, and a lot of companies just take a frame, throw some parts on it, and put their logo on it, and just say, let's sell it, see what it does. Oh, those are new. I don't think that house had those on the last time I came through. All right. Those are clean, those are clean. One thing I didn't mention on my last review video is I honestly think this bike is perfect for modders. And if you are going to modify this bike, then do not get the dual battery setup. You're basically just gonna be wasting $400. But this is a cool bike if you want to put a bigger motor in it. Now, I don't know if you want to put a 5,000 watt motor in it. I would say a smaller motor, maybe like 2,000 watts, maybe even 3,000 watts. And, you know, just have a nice display, a full twist throttle instead of a thumb throttle. I personally like a thumb throttle on these bikes, but I mean, to each their own. I just feel like thumb throttles are pretty chill just to kind of get around, and they're a little bit more safer. I feel like full throttles are great, but then sometimes when I go off-road and go up and down, sometimes my hand accidentally pulls it a little bit farther back sometimes. That's just me. I don't know, maybe I'm just not good at riding, I don't know. But yeah, if you want to modify this bike, I think it's a good platform to start on because it's similar to a Super 73 and everyone mods those. It'd be nice to see if HandleWorks comes out with a controller that you could possibly put on this thing and get more power out of it the way it is in stock form. Oh no, we're down 2 battery, but okay, now we went back up to 3. We were down to 2 for a second. We're at 48 volts. It seems like from 50 volts is which we started on in today's video. We only went down 2 volts since I started tonight's trip. And for some reason, these last 2 voltages is where we lost 2 battery bars, which is kind of crazy. Actually, I should say 3 battery bars just for a brief second right there. So I'm like, what the hell's going on? The way they calculated the battery bars going down right there is a little sus to me. That was way too fast. Now here's something that you're either gonna love or hate from me for mentioning this. So hold on, let me go up this real quick. Woo! All right, a little bit of chain rattle, but that's all right. It went over that, no problem with these huge fat tires that we have. But what I want to say is, this might not be a popular topic, but I have about 13 e-bikes in my garage right now. And bikes like this, hands down, to go get the mail around the corner or go to someone's house that's in the area that's like 0.5 or maybe a mile away, I actually get on bikes like this more often than I ever do any of my other bikes because they're just simple. You just turn it on, you go, it's slow enough, it's comfortable, you don't have to worry about it like being too torquey or full throttle. Sometimes I gotta go pick up packages at my mailbox and I'm like, oh my God, trying to hold on to stuff, and then I'm trying not to pull the throttle too far back, and then I can't like grab the brakes anymore. This is a very safe and comfortable bike to just go and get the mail, and it makes absolutely no noise whatsoever. That is my favorite part about this bike. It actually feels like a hub motor, realistically, like with silent noise. I mean, it has a little bit of noise getting up to speed, but it has little, like no power. It has like 500 watts of power, so it's not much, and that doesn't bring a lot of noise with it. So I am happy about how this bike sounds, because you can just ride it anywhere and no one should bat an eye. Even if you're in heavy foot traffic on like a trail or something, even places that a bike technically shouldn't be, I don't see people complaining about this bike at all. If I brought like the Valtenzu EM5 or the EM22 or my RTR Lite, those all have chains. They make very loud noise. They look like a dirt bike. This thing looks pretty cool and unique by itself, but this is not going to bat an eye. Those other bikes, you'll probably get the cops called on you, or you'll have people after you pass by like, oh my God, look at that kid riding that thing going down the path or whatever. He needs to take that thing home. He shouldn't even be out here. And they'll probably talk about it all day long. And surprisingly, I've had people come into my garage looking at my bikes and stuff, because I've been trying to sell some bikes lately. And I'll tell you right now that I've had some people be like, dude, what bike is that? They don't know it goes 25 miles an hour. They're a little bit disappointed that it goes that slow, but they're also like, dude, that is super cool. That's like one of the nicest bikes I see in your garage. Well, that's cool too. I was wondering what that was. I thought that was a display. I thought it was like letters or something. Then I realized it was lights on the actual trees. That's pretty cool. All right, so I'm gonna pull up here in this dark section right here, and I wanna show you guys the brake light and the headlight again. I'll walk in the front of the bike and show you guys all this stuff. All right, so this is gonna be very bright on camera, I'm pretty sure. So this is with the brake lever not pushed. You can see how bright it is. It is still, it's super bright. And watch, when I hit it, you see those LEDs at the top that get brighter? Hopefully you guys can see that pretty good. Look at my hand. Look how much brighter that gets. I mean, it lights up my whole damn hand. And let me step away from the bike so you guys get an idea. I mean, I could probably go all the way down this street like 50 feet away and you will still see that brake light. It is a very, very nice brake light. Hands down, good job Macfox on that, especially when safety is a huge concern. Now I notice when I get closer to the bike, because it's at a slight angle, that it actually gets brighter as I walk up closer to it. And check out the front. I did show the headlight pretty good in my first video, so you can go back and watch that if you haven't seen the review video, but this is how it looks at night, and it is pretty damn bright, man. Oh, it's such an awesome headlight, and that's not even with the high beam on. So if I switch it over to the high beam, check this out. You can see it lights up the tree a little bit more, and when I look at it in the front, it's those two lights on the side. This is what the high beam's coming from, is those two lights, if you guys can see that. And check this out. When I get low, boom, oh my God, ow, my eyes. I am blinded, I can't see. Now let's move on to showing you guys probably my biggest complaint about this bike is that from 0 to 2 miles an hour, it has a hesitation. So check this out. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it feels like it doesn't want to move for the first like 2 miles, and then it kind of kicks on. It could just be the low power of the controller on the amps or how they tune the bike and all that stuff. It's not a huge deal, but if you're really trying to get out of the way or go across the street, you actually have to go sooner than you think across the street, because it takes a second delay to start moving the bike. So just something to think about. I just wanted to mention that. But I hope you guys can admit that this is a pretty cool style. Like, it looks great. It's a functional, you know, bike. It's a safe bike. It has really, really good components on it. I should turn right here. Oh wait, nope, not that one. I seriously think that this has some of the better components on it. Like, when I sit on the bike, I know what feels good and what doesn't. I love the texture on the brake levers, just so you can feel where your hands are at on the brake levers. I love that. The grips are nice. You never get nice grips on any of these bikes. You also get a dedicated headlight switch right there. Now, I would have liked to seen a horn on this bike for the price that you're paying. Oh, I did not see that pothole right there. But anyways, I do think a horn would have been nice on this bike, so if they would have included that, that would have just been chef's kiss. But for the most part, it's all right. It doesn't have it. And here's a range update real quick. 7.5 miles on today's video, so 17.5 miles in total. And we are down to 46.5 volts under load. And then when I let off, we are going up to about 47.2 volts. Actually, no, 48 volts. All right. 48 volts, that is pretty high up there. So it looks like our voltage sag is roughly about 1.5 volts when you go full throttle until it gets up to speed. Once it gets up to speed, it goes down to maybe 0.8 to 1 volt of a voltage drop. I'll ride around a little bit longer so I get to 10 miles, so then we'll have 20 miles in total on this bike, and then I'll give you a range update. then I'll let you guys go. Bro, you guys didn't see it, but I passed this guy. He was literally right next to me, and this bike is so quiet, he didn't even notice me whatsoever. That is crazy. Well, here we go, guys. We're coming up the final hill. We'll probably do a little bit over 20 miles on this bike in total, but right now I'm at 9.9, so add that to the 10 we did the other day. Technically, it was 10.1, and right now under throttle is probably gonna be the worst case scenario because I am coming up a hill. We are at 46 volts. If I let off, it's probably gonna jump up to almost 48. Yeah, we're sitting at about 47.6 volts when I let off. So there you go. You guys can see the chart up on the screen. I'm not exactly sure what that's at, but I'm assuming that's probably half battery, if not better than half battery. So that's not too bad to me, I think, anyway. You guys can take it with a grain of salt, but that's just how I ride. As soon as I let off on the video and gave you guys the update right now, I never let off the throttle. I've been at 24 or 25 miles an hour the whole entire time, and that's just how I ride. If you guys ride a lot slower and you're lighter than me, you guys are gonna get way better range. Also, our battery bars haven't changed. They went down to 2. They've been sitting at 2 the whole entire time. Also, if you guys want to know some stuff on this, if you didn't see the full review, there we go. 22 miles on the bike in total. That kind of matches up to my phone as well. We're sitting about 21 right now, so not too bad. I actually like how this is completely accurate to GPS. You don't even have to have your phone up here if you don't want. I like having my phone up here just in case I get notifications, I go through. It's a nice steady bike, it's a safe bike, so I can go on my phone. Don't recommend it, but I mean, if you are advanced at riding, then hey, by all means, do what you gotta do. Just don't get caught on your phone, because I don't know if it's the same as texting and driving. I don't know. But make sure you don't drink either while riding a bike, man. Just don't do that. Make sure you have proper gear, have a helmet, have gloves, and you already have the nice headlight and the brake light. You're good to go on that. Another button you can push on here says that our trip today was 10.7 miles, and on here 10.8. So again, completely accurate. Love it. And yeah, 46 volts flat right now with the throttle on. Yeah, this is just a very cool bike. And if you guys want to know the range on this thing, if you had one battery, just cut the range that I'm telling you guys are going to get at the end of this video. Just cut that in half. I'm going to say you can probably get about 20 to 25 miles out of one battery. It's going to be a little bit more scary because the battery bars are going to go a lot quicker with one battery, but you can do it, trust me. So anyways, on that note, guys, that is the Macfox X7. This is a fantastic bike. I mean, I can't say anything bad about it other than there's no fenders, no rear suspension, and it is kind of pricey, but if you want a quality bike for your kid to be safe, or you're just getting into electric bikes, you don't want anything crazy, you don't want to break the law, you don't want to get a ticket, nothing, you want to be safe, I gotta say, this is a pretty cool bike. A lot of people buy Super 73 bikes, keep in mind. So this bike will sell, trust me. I know there's going to be a lot of hate in the comments, but please try to keep it nice, and you know, let's just talk about nice stuff. Tell me what you guys like about this bike, and let's, you know, have fun riding, guys. Let's just all be positive now, you know, let's just have a good time. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys are the true MVPs. Peace out, guys. Hopefully you liked the video. I hope so anyway. Let me know if you did. Oh, I don't think I ever told you guys that if you do hold the throttle and then you hit the brakes, it cuts your power. So that's a nice safety thing.